Welcome back to Duel podcast. It's your host Alicia Solomon and myself Megan Hines. Where every week we talk the challenge. We're back once again to talk the challenge Ride or Dies, episode 16, and this is the last challenge, last elimination before the final. And we see two big dogs go against each other. One falters, one succeeds, and that's how we got to that point. It's just funny. We got a weird FaceTime from Wes, so we'll get into. But this episode was pleasantly decent.
For who?
Aside from the winners, but
Not for me. She was a what Joe Budden said, a 2-pack of ass. It was a 2-pack of ass, bro. I ain't gonna hold
um, even though I know it's why because of our winners of the episode, but still, it was still decent for what we usually get right before the final. We will come back into the episode though, post Jordan and Nisa's elimination win. They claim that they are one of the toughest in the sand within eliminations, and Anissa calls this their redemption season. And Jordan still wants to show that he can still win, and he is making this partnership work with him and Anissa to get them to the final.
I mean, we've seen it time and time again this season with these two, so it's not surprising. I just hope that Anissa is able to withstand how the final is going to happen, and we get a sneak peek at the final upcoming at the end of this episode. So Jordan is going to have to do a lot of motivational speaking for her to get through this.
He's about to be on his Gary V. It's about to be a lot. And then we have a Mariah and Bananas moment that leads to Fessy noticing and basically saying out loud that Bananas has been skating out this whole season. He's a 7-time champ for a reason. He tends to stray in the back and skates to the end. That's his MO, and we all know that. Um, and him and the guys are talking like, hey, we need to throw a shot at him so that he doesn't make it to a final. And Devin concurs and says that if you want something done right, you gotta do it yourself because people have tried to throw shots at Bananas and it never works. So hopefully it sticks, but you never know.
I mean, I don't think any one of them realizes that they were in position of power to put him in and they never did. And I think a lot of people played scared this whole season, trying to not say his name out of all of the big names and not try to make big moves. He was the one right there this whole time. So, I mean, it is what it is, but I just feel like just because y'all didn't have put him in position to get into elimination before, it's like now all of a sudden you're like, oh hey, one more thing, you didn't go in. And it's like at this point, he already skated through. Y'all already helped him get to the final. So it is what it is.
Like they had chances like before. Like Fessy had a chance before when he wanted to do so. He didn't do it. Devin and Tori, they are somewhat working with him, so like they can't necessarily do that because we see that Devin and Vannas have formed some sort of relationship, and that's helped Johnny's basically skate. To be honest, because if Devin was safe, he wasn't really going to say his name like that. So Devin can give us lip service all he wants about wanting to take out a big threat, being Bananas, but you've been in a relationship with him this whole season. That's not happening, sir. Like it's not. Um, and then Fessy and Mariah talk about how it would be nice for them to win, and they said that if they don't win, they know that they'll be on the chocolate block to elimination, and they know that they'll be on everyone's radar. Which we already know this because they beasted that mini final earlier in the season, and they are a threat to really win this. Okay, move on. And then Olivia and Horacio also talked about how it's time for people who skated to go in, and they really want to reach final as the only Ricky pair. It would be nice to see a little bit of them in there because like they deserved it. They've been to the ringer this whole season, and to see them in the final would be the icing on the cake. And having them win would be really cool too.
I mean, Horacio is the only person that I'm rooting for, so yeah.
Not the only one. Like Olivia
Like no,
just,
the no, she's not even there. Like she's not even there.
which is so bad when she's just like there and he's the shining spot spot of her partnership, but she's handled herself well at times, I would say. And then we go into the daily challenge, which is called Frozen Senseless, where one team member was filled through a covered box at one end of the course where it has three cubes that they have to touch with shapes on them. And they'll have to meet their partner in the middle of the course to translate the pattern so that they can assemble it using puzzle pieces at the other end. And the trick is at that meeting point, they'll be sitting in an ice bath while communicating what puzzle pieces need to be what. Um, and to start off, Devin and Tori decide that they have him at the key, obviously, because he is a puzzle guy. He can memorize things and articulate himself well with that. Jordan said he needed Nisa to get under the wall while he does the key. And the way he said that, I'm like, sorry, this is very aggressive, but I understand you need her to just get it together. But that was just a funny moment.
It's Jordan and Anissa. What do you expect? Like he's
Yeah,
gonna talk to her crazy.
yeah. And then Bananas was also struggling with his description throughout this. Like he was saying clovers and other things that were not the symbols, and it was not looking good for him and Donnie to start off because he did not know anything. He said like the ice bath was just too like it was like messing with his brain at one point.
Which is what it was supposed to do. Mm,
Yeah,
I'm not understanding. Like it okay, it did its job. Great.
yeah. And Bessie was also giving Mariah good information, but it was too much information for her. I feel like the way he was doing it was fine, but he needed to kind of break it up a bit instead of just regurgitating every single thing I heard. That's why I feel like she was not getting everything because he was just saying things back to back to back. He was like, "How you not know? Forget what I'm trying to say, but you got to learn how to do it." I'm like, sir, I can get what she was saying because they are good paired together, but sometimes communication can be a little tricky. And I think in that moment, it was a little bit too much for her. And then Olivia and Horacio were also communicating really well in comparison to those other two I've mentioned just now, because they were really as one. And it was really nice to see. Devin and Tori are also communicating well and going at a good pace. Um, and Tori managed to configure the puzzle and they get it correct and they are the winners of this daily challenge. Um, Johnny mentions that he's resolved his beef with Devin and he's working with him, hopes that it works in his favor. The TJ tells him that they're one step closer to the final, thinking, and when he was started saying that, people were like, oh, we're going straight to the final. He's like, nah, y'all just one step closer to the final. Y'all not going just yet.
Yeah, TJ was doing that all episode. I feel like he was just teasing and making sure that they stay alert and on their toes because everyone was so ready to get to the final. I'm ready for them to get to the final. But at this point, it's just one more step that they have to go through. So I feel like TJ was just throwing that hint out every single time he could this episode.
Yeah. And we get a FaceTime call with Bananas and his BFF slash sidekick slash life coach. And the Wilponskin's character, Wes Bergman, and he tells Wes that he's been in a relationship with Devin a season with them being roommates, but he also knows that Devin has been playing both sides of the game and doesn't know what he'll do because this is classic Wes. We all know that Wes is one to play different sides of the house and use that in his favor. And because Devin is under Wes's tutelage, Bananas knows that he'll do that same thing and will probably find the right moment to strike at him.
Yeah, I mean, they try to do this. I think this is the second time we've seen Wes pop up on these phone calls, and it's just like, okay, if y'all not gonna bring him on the main show, just don't show him at all. Because honestly, there's no point of him not being on the main show. But whatever, I digress. I think the phone call contrived, nothing really special, and I think that between Johnny just giving the tea to Wes about what's going on, it's nothing really new. Like you said, Devin is Wes's little minion, essentially, and his little like if Wes is step A, Devin is like step B. Like I
Yeah.
don't know, he's just there, just trying to follow behind his footsteps, which I don't know why, but okay, it's just I don't know why as a man are you looking up to another man? That's just weird.
We had a real because it's a pattern with these male challengers being groupies from another. So, but it is this phone call is reminiscent of how Johnny called in had I called with Wes on All Stars. So this is just a payback for that, and so yeah. Nothing like you said, but nothing else really came from this. We know how Wes is, and we know that Devin is Wes 2.0 in a sense, so we didn't really need add information. But I guess they needed to add it in because of now Bananas do friendship with Devin, which is cool for them, I guess. But yeah. Well, also, they didn't really have much for us to even see this episode, too, so they had to insert that FaceTime call because nothing else was really happening. And then Devin and Tori had a chat, and right before they got to interrogation, they said that they want to be responsible with how they handle this deliberation. But they know that Anissa and Jordan are off the table, with Faisal and Mariah, and Bananas and Nani being their main two options because they are two big threats. As mentioned previously, Mariah and Faisal did that mini final really well. And then we have a 7-time champ in Bananas and experienced veteran in Nani as competitors. So either team is a toss up. For me personally, I would have been vindictive and voted in Bananas and Nani. Get them out of the way so that they have a chance. Because what else? How else can they help you in that final?
I mean, I feel like if Devin was going to take a shot, this would have been the opportunity. I think that they knew that Fessy and Mariah were a threat, and because of the endurance and how long a final could be, the chances of them beating them in an endurance kind of situation is far in between. But honestly, the final is not just that portion of it. There's a whole other side of it that has to go with it. So you just never know. I feel like that crapshoot would be better chosen with Fessy because we've seen him falter in finals rather than Bananas, who is a 7-time champ. And I felt like everyone kept saying that and bringing that up and making that stat known. And it's like, okay, he's a 7-time champ, but he's still here and has an opportunity to get to the final. So do you think he's not going to try to make it 8? Like it's not really adding up their thought process and doing that. And I think between him and Tori trying to choose and him basically taking over the realm and saying, hey, we're not going with Bananas and Nani, it's like, dude, I get it that they were rooming together and that was probably one of their codes that they probably wouldn't say each other. But at this point, Devin has shown like he can go back on his word at any time because he feels like he's a master at this game. So I would have preferably seen wanted to see him choose Johnny and Bananas. I'm Johnny and naughty just to get them like out of the house.
Yeah, because it's about time. Like at this point again, you still have this man in the house for whatever reason, and y'all claim y'all want to have new champs. This is y'all opportunity. Aside from having so Jordan in there, but still, Jordan hasn't won as much as Johnny, so he don't really matter at this point. But y'all want new champs between you and Fessy? Get him out. It's a perfect opportunity. Um, but um, they do talk to everybody. Right before Olivia and Horacio actually go in, they won the state decide they want to pitch to Devin and Tori that they'll save Jordan and Nisa so that they'll be in good graces with them. Also, since they extended the olive branch of like saving them last week, they were saving them last week. They're good. Um, Devin and Tori do tell Jordan and Nisa that they'll go to the draw, nothing really to worry about. And Devin does field a question to them, asking if it's dumb to not say Bananas and Ani's name. Jordan only said it might be odd because obviously him and Bananas have been roomies, but and also he hadn't really said his name either. That's also one thing to note. Like we know Bananas does do wacky stuff, but he hadn't really said Devin's name all season, so it's a toss up. Um, and at this point, both of them are still kind of split on who to go with. Tori wants Fessy and Mariah, and then Devin is putting on a show that he wants to put in Bananas and Donnie. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was just stand on it. If you want to do something, to stand on it. Don't just beat around the bush about it. That's what he does best. And sometimes when he thinks he's doing great with manipulating things around and just doing strategy, sometimes the execution of it doesn't do well. Then they talk to Fessy and Mariah. Fessy basically says that at every chance that they get, both Devin and Tori, at the times he's been on seasons with them, have said his name. And he knows that they'll do that once again this time. And he's really pushing for Bananas to go and be that book because he has that experience, like we said, and it's no brainer for him. Like, just put him in, I'm good. And then Bananas and Lonnie come in, and they said they didn't really have anyone that they'll save in the draw aside from Jordan and Nisa. And Bananas just really harping on like how him and Devin's friendship has kind of blossomed in a sense. And that was really it with their talk with them. And once they leave, Tori's like, I'm not ready to really make the decision. And she was like, at one point, she didn't know what Devin's decision would be because she was like, I don't know, like you're saying one thing here, one thing here. I don't know what you're gonna do. So figure it out, man. So that was just a crapshoot.
Yeah, I mean, Devin was in charge clearly, so Tori just didn't know what was happening and think that that's one of the major things that she was maneuvering all season is trying to just go off Devin's lead and follow suit to whatever he wanted to do.
Yeah. And then at bar night, Devin said, let's shoot the score with their decision on the teams. Devin talks with Fessy. He tells Fessy that Tori essentially was not budging on one vote for him, but he saw his point and wanted to see someone new get a win. And Bananas did say, like, afterwards, after the bar, he told Nani that he knew Devin might blindside him, but Nani was like, "We're prepared. It doesn't matter. It is what it is." Fessy and Mariah also really ready to go in. Doesn't really matter. But Fessy was like, I'm not trying to lose elimination. He was tunnel vision focused on making the final and getting that money. And then we go to the zone where they do the vote and they're just saying we're gonna take this big shot. And their big shot goes towards Fessy and Mariah.
And yeah, I guess the big shot was to the biggest person left, which was Fessy. And
Yeah,
I guess that's what that meant.
yeah, because the big shot was really to your new bestie. Like, do what you wanted to do, but no, you're gonna let him skate. That's it. So, and then Fetty did say that it was frustrating that they kept doing this and like they kept putting him these positions. So, yeah, we go to the dagger draw. Bananas and Nani draw the dagger first, and it's blank, and then Horacio and Olivia are at next, and they get the safe dagger. And they have the decision to pick between Bananas and Nani and Jordan and Nisa. They choose well Horacio, he starts off saying his speech and he's like, sorry, Jordan and Nisa. And Nisa almost had a mini heart attack. But he's like, I'm sorry for last time, but y'all gonna be safe. So yeah.
Yeah, I feel like she did have the heart attack low key because I was like, wait, what? And I feel like Olivia was looking at him sideways too. Honestly, I could do without those little speeches from them. Like, I hate when they do that moment, like, Teach, this is one of the hardest things that, we had to do, or I really respect this. Just shut up and pick a name. Like, we don't need all this freaking source of word speech. Like, shut up. You
Where's the
thinking
music?
God, you thinking your mama, you thinking everybody, TJ, you thinking the producers, everybody who made it. It's just like, damn, who are you picking?
So yeah, we're getting Bananas and Nani versus Fessy and Mariah. And they're playing Bridget, where each team member will use 3 rugs to ascend a rope bridge to the top of a tower, and each time they drop a rug or fall off, they must restart. The first to have both team members at the top of the tower will win and stay in the game. This elimination was funny, especially seeing Fessy could keep falling. That was the funny part to me because he's like, we saw him in a daily beforehand where he was like, I'm good with my balance and agility. We get to this man is falling almost immediately.
Yeah, this challenge wasn't made for him. Plus, he was too damn big for this, and I just feel like, honestly, even if it was Jordan and Anissa, I don't think Anissa would have been able to complete this. Like, this elimination was hard in the sense that you had to really be at a perfect, not perfect, but you had to be at a good weight that you can hold your body. Like, it's not in a pull up form where you need to hold your own body weight, but in a sense that you can have complete control of what's going above you and below you and still be able to balance. And I think that Fessy was just too damn big for this staircase, and Mariah really couldn't just figure it out. And she was in the corner, like telling Fessy, "Hey, just look at whatever Bananas is doing and do that." And it's like you can't cheat off of him because you don't know what he's doing. He's still falling down. So it's just like at that moment in time, he didn't reach to the top yet, or he didn't reach far. So it's like you looking at him and he falling down. You want to fall down too? I don't. I just was just like, girl, that's stupid. Like, don't tell him that because now he's gonna look to his right or to his left and see what he's doing, and he's doing absolutely nothing. He's in the same position as you. You just have to figure it out, and they just could not. And I really feel like this was the one elimination that Johnny and Nani could have beaten Fessy and Mariah. And I don't know what other elimination that was like that they would have really like beaten them, like if it was really physical.
If it was really physical, if it was a hall brawl, like Fessy has always gotten, Johnny would not still be there.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, but it was funny also seeing Bananas like fall at times. Like he would get close and then it could just fall. Um, Mariah didn't really fall as much. She was just had an issue with getting her pieces together. Same with Nani. At one point, um, Nani was like going at a good pace. Then Bananas finally got together and got to the tower first. Nani got close to the top but she dropped her stick and she had to recalibrate. And as she managed to get the pieces up and she had that one last one and it fell and she caught it her foot, I was like, go Nani. Okay? Because she has like that gymnastics experience and she used that to her advantage. And she really killed it in this nation.
Yeah, she definitely was impressive with that fall, that catching the pole with that with the foot, but like it really could have went left. After that point, this was her second time almost making it to the top, and for her to catch it and then be able to just balance herself right and continue going up. You know, we've seen this Nani arc all season, and God bless her in dealing with, the family issue that she had. But otherwise to that, she can go. And I just think that it's like, all right, now we see her again back, coming back. She's, getting almost close to the final. She wants to run a final. I just want to see what she does in said final because I hear a lot of talking about her getting to the final, but I don't see a lot of action when she gets here. It gives always mediocre when she gets there.
Yeah. Um, and her and Bananas end up winning this nation. Um, they're like, we can't get rid of Banani. Um, and Fessy said he was handling his first elimination loss fairly well. Um, and TJ tells the group after Fessy and Mariah leave that let's go to the final. And this final was not going to be what they thought it was going to be. So that's going to be funny.
Yeah, that was 100 hours. Like they doing community service on this bitch. They ain't doing 100 hours for a
In four
final.
days.
Like, come on now, come on. They on probation or something. TJ is the PO, and they asses is on probation. They doing 100 hours. That's crazy.
Like that is really the most like a final has been like on the challenge. Like,
It has to
God.
be. It's literally it has to be. They usually do one day, then they would have an overnight, then they get to the next day, possibly maybe go over to the next day, but by the time like evening is setting, they already got the winner. So
Yeah.
it's definitely going to be challenging, and I want to see the different pinpoints and checkpoints, I should say, of what they're going to be doing, because I feel like that's also a big huge moment in time where they start to purge people in the challenge final.
I wonder how if they do this point system that we've seen previously, how that'll factor in like the point system and then the time of everything. Because with the finals, sometimes the point system is a little bit jank. It's but more so the timing of the finals and people's finishing points is a little jank we've seen previously. So that's what I'm more interested in on my end. Like, okay, y'all have this 100-hour final. How y'all gonna break this down in whatever point system y'all do, or if y'all do it timed? Because we all know how timed ones go. It gets a little tricky. So yeah, but of these, well, we already know. Never mind. I was gonna say of these last four teams, we're only rooting for Horacio.
Yeah, if Horacio wins, that's great. I'm dead serious. Like, there's nobody else there.
Yeah,
If Anissa gets to a certain point where she has an opportunity to win, I'm like, all right, finally. Like, it's been 20 years, but the only person that I could say that I can root for is Horacio.
same. Yeah, I don't care for Devin and Tori. Bananas, his time is over. Jordan's just there at this point, so that's it. So yeah. With that, we're gonna get into the tweets from this episode. First one is Fessy took out Nelson twice, Jordan twice, Kyle, Casey, Kenny, and Adisa. The only person able to stop his bag was Nani Gonzalez.
All right. All right. Next. Next caller. Next caller, please. Next caller. Cause no. Next caller.
Okay. Someone wanted Anissa on this challenge season so badly just to watch her struggle to do a 100-hour final. Someone is playing for her downfall. And I want to play the video that is accompanying it because it is funny. Yes, ma'am. That you are working on something right now. And I feel success coming up behind it, but I also feel lots of opposition. There's some people that's in your circle that's telling me that they're your friends and they're talking against your future.
The people talking in Anissa's circle is Anissa herself. That's the problem. She has been fighting her own self for this whole time, and I think that I just don't know how honestly she's gonna get over that hump because the final is a lot. Like Anissa went as much shit as I give her about how she showed up to the challenge, what she, the entitlement that she has, her nasty attitude at sometimes. I think that she has an opportunity now more than ever to actually successfully say she can actually win the challenge. Like not no side comment type shit. Like, no, she could actually win because she's been playing that well. So she just gotta lock in. But yeah, she fighting herself.
Yeah. And I have no qualms with Anissa. It's just I want better for her. That's just my thing. She comes in motivated and then falters at a point. And I'm like, girl, have that motivation all the way through. And don't just lean on somebody else for your motivation. Know that you are the shit and just complete things. That's it. The next tweet. Bananas bragging about skating through with no emotions isn't the same thing he ridiculed. Oh, sorry. Bananas bragging about skating through with no emotions isn't this the same thing he ridiculed Kara for, who did it first and better, by the way? Hypocrite, Grandpa.
At this point, he needs somebody to carry him. So, of course, there's a lot of people who forget and have lapse of judgment of what they said and what they did, and especially over time. This game has changed so much. He's coming back into this after a hiatus. He's seen how the players have played. And honestly, this is what's been happening the last couple of seasons. So he's just playing right into it. Now, yes, he did talk about Kara, but same time, she did what she needed to do too. Like, y'all just can't be mad that now all of a sudden people are clocking it.
Yeah. And the last tweet. Because the video of the company is also is another viral video. It says when someone who asks who the female rookie of the season is. I think Olivia. Topher has spoken that Olivia has been the female rookie of the season.
I would say it's what was her name? Who was the girl? Kim or Colleen? Which one was the girl?
Colleen.
Okay, because they always whatever. Colleen was eating them up when she was there. All right, I'm gonna put Colleen. I'm gonna put Raven. I'm gonna put who else was a rookie?
Would you say Mariah?
Mariah. I'm gonna put Mariah over um blow up lips. There's a lot of people I'm gonna put over Shorty before I even say her name. Like, get out of here.
Wait, Nerese or Olivia?
Hell,
Olivia's only the best because she outlasted all of them. That's it. She's given good moments. I'll give her that. But other
all
than
this
that,
aspects in this episode, I just can't with her. This person is the best person in the world. This player is the best player in the world. This person is the best. Just girl, girl.
she was like I look up to Anissa.
You need to look
Okay.
higher. You need to look higher. You need to look to God. Ciao. Anyway, we're gonna wrap this shit up because Anyway, thank you for listening so much. If you would like to hear more or see more, you can follow our Twitter page at Dual Alliance Pod. You can follow Megan at Megan Hines. You can follow my page at ace_s5. You can watch us on YouTube if you want at Dual Alliance Podcast. And we'll be back next week. The final start, I think it should be probably, they need to wrap this up in 2 episodes, like 100 hours. Wrap it up in two. Y'all giving us 90 minutes each and every week. I feel like I can get it done in the next 2 weeks. So hopefully they can wrap it up in 2 weeks, but we'll see how it goes. But yeah, finals are finally here and we are ready to watch it and rock and roll. But thank you guys for listening and see you guys next week. Bye bye.
Bye.